Riders Republic is a sprawling, messy, open-world playground. An extreme sports game for the TikTok generation. Incredibly ambitious, audacious, and pure fast fantasy fun. Riders Republic is a land of youthful bodies that can never break. Endless trails, perfect powder, and energy drink-stoked good times. But will the fun times last? Ubisoft Annecy has taken 2019's Steep and used it as an appetizer of sorts, making a multi-course meal out of that game's snowboards, skis, and wingsuits, and adding mountain biking and rocket suits to the mix of extreme sports. It takes many of America's national parks and blends them into a huge, real-world geography be damned, seamless map of mountains, forests, and deserts that is chock full of landmarks, collectibles, and thousands of AI and real players exploring, racing, and out-tricking one another. There are two primary ways to experience Riders Republic, not necessarily of equal value. There's an offline Zen mode that allows you to simply use the immense map as an endless playground, instantly and improbably switching between sports and modes of transport at the press of a button. Thanks to the impressive environments, it's easy to get lost for hours in aimlessly wandering, but the downside is to earn better gear or cosmetics, you need to be online, and in the career mode. But if you're allergic to the games as a service model, at least you have some sort of alternative. The price of admission to the online/career mode, which is where most of Riders Republic's content resides, is a tutorial that might just be the most cringeworthy hour in video game history. It's so absurdly full of broy, extreme sport cliches and exaggerated characters that you assume it has to be a parody.
Holy shiz whistle, congratulations!
One of the minor but consistently off-putting things to me about Riders Republic is how it keeps whooping and hollering at you about how extreme and fun everything is. Cut back on the Red Bull already. We get it, you're excited, and Red Bull's a sponsor. Also, telling me how much fun I'm having doesn't make it so. The tutorial, of course, serves a legitimate function, especially to players who weren't into Steep, by introducing controls for the main sports and outlining the premise of the flexible career mode, which is basically to complete a series of events in a bunch of sports that eventually culminate in a grand finale mega race. The career mode spans dozens of hours, consisting of main and secondary race events or time trials that are repeatable and always against AI opponents. They do a great job of honing skills and pushing players around the map and through the various sports, some of which may click with you more than others. Like a parent deathly afraid of having their child having a moment of low self-esteem or failure, Riders Republic rewards players for just about everything. Complete a race, and no matter how far in the rear of the pack you land, or how few tricks you nail, and you get a star. Good job, Brosif! Earning stars allows you to unlock new and better equipment, finally leading to epic tier gear that significantly ups your game. I think I would have enjoyed the ability to, let's say, upgrade my basic mountain bike with better components. But that would have pushed Riders Republic into simulation territory, when it's really an arcade game at heart. Although the sports use physics in a relatively realistic way, controls, at least once mastered, are pretty forgiving and even the worst crash can be shaken off. There's no damage modeling, either to equipment or human bodies. Riders Republic is all about what it feels like to bomb down a mountain, or do endless mid-air tricks, without any of the worry, technique, or potential hospitalization that accompany the real thing. It's fantastic! If you want to take a break from the sport progression events, or just want to focus on increasing skill in your favorite sport, Riders Republic offers you a near-endless menu of diversions against or with real human players, almost all of it earning you some sort of points that can be used to buy cosmetic items. Unsurprisingly, you can buy outfits in the cash shop too, but at least right now there are no pay-to-win shortcuts. If nothing else, the framework of Riders Republic is brilliantly constructed and suggests that additional sports could easily be plugged into the template. Upcoming seasons and DLC promise things like jet-powered skis, and actual sports like BMX, complete with all new tracks and competitions. Your home base of Riders Ridge is naturally where the item shops live, and is the gateway to regularly scheduled mass races with over 60 competitors, chaotic and incredibly engaging events that cross several sports. You can also compete in 6v6, team-focused trick contests, and a dizzying array of free ride races all over the map. You can traverse the map via snowmobile or glider, in addition to fast travel points. And as with every Ubisoft open-world game, the environment is dense with collectibles. It's also dense with other players too, both human and ghost AI, all jetting, biking, skiing, and gliding their way through America's greatest national parks. It's like the world's biggest simultaneous vacation party ever. It's a world which, impressively, spans thousands of rendered miles of wilderness without a loading screen, and although on the PS5 there was a fair amount of texture pop-in, it's hard not to be awed and a little inspired by the various landscapes. While the ragdoll physics generate some pretty hilarious blood-free crashes, the meticulous mocap animations for each sport are spot on. The audio design of Riders Republic is equally impressive. In particular, the sound of the gear in action, the mechanical clank and clatter of the bikes, the crunch of skis on snow, and happily the licensed music soundtrack isn't entirely stuck in the action sports rock rap genres, which is not to say I loved it. During the game, tracks are paired with specific events you'll probably need to repeat, so there's a good chance you'll be muting them at some point. Everything so far, you'll notice, has been pretty good news, but there's one or two things about Riders Republic that sour the experience quite a bit, at least for me. Let's start with the limited character creator, which is very basic and only allows you to fashion avatars that are young and fit looking. Granted, this is a silly and superficial complaint from an old dude, but it points to the game's obvious aversion to anything that doesn't vibe with its frankly ridiculous fantasy of extreme sports belonging to a particular demographic. Coupled with Riders Republic's exaggerated and weirdly out-of-touch version of action sports culture and slang, I can't help feeling like this incredible world is inhabited by thousands of self-entitled, brain-dead, flannel-wearing bros and broettes that I would pay money to not hang out with in real life. And speaking of real life, I live in an action sports hotspot and know many accomplished parasailers, mountain bikers, and snowboarders, none of which would recognize their culture in this game. Another minor gripe is Riders Republic's rewind system, which allows you to replay sections of a race that you just screwed up. Unlike most versions of this system in auto race games, the rest of the competitors just keep going, so rewinding, which is glitchy and imprecise, almost invariably puts you at a disadvantage, often making a restart the better option. If you can ignore the game's obnoxious attitude and in-your-face corporate sponsorship, you're richly rewarded with accessible, consistently engaging representations of biking, snow sports, and wingsuiting, coupled with a massive and literally awesome environment in which to compete and explore. Those that are into riding the leaderboards or just playing with their friends will have plenty of opportunities to fuel their addiction. But I'm guessing that just about everybody can find joy here in just goofing around in this expansive playground, at least for a while. Whether or not Riders Republic sticks to landing and stays in the playlist of many gamers beyond launch probably depends on a steady stream of new sports to try, and if an actual, thriving community pledges allegiance to the Republic's competitive modes.
I know.
Wait, he's never offered me that.
Yeah, don't sweat it. It's mine. Kind of.
I won it in a card game. I don't have papers or anything, but it's mine. Whoa, whoa.
Okie dokie. Now, fist pump me like a champion. Now, just a little bump. Or a high five. You want to just, okay, fine.